Meanwhile, some like methed out 46-year-old convict is just like fucking throwing things on the pie.
Yeah, throwing things on the pie.
Speaking of throwing things on the pie, welcome back to a new slice of the Eurocentrist.
That was so forced. This has nothing to do with pie. Hello. You're here against your will now. As are we. No.
But this is the Eurocentrist episode 8, and we have a special guest. Finally, he is here. It is Alan Henderson.
Sup?
Hey,
dog.
Say something about yourself.
Yes.
Oh no,
just quickly.
I just thought we were gonna ease into things. I didn't think I had to like admit.
You don't get to feel comfortable.
No, we force ourselves on
Trust
you.
me, I haven't felt comfortable since the moment I've walked in here. I've watched Paul have a mental breakdown and struggle with inanimate objects.
And he saw the lights. He was like, "I'm having a midlife crisis.
And
this is a TikToker's bedroom."
Like nobody. I've never done a podcast where somebody's just fucking thrown that down on the table.
Yeah, a little bit of serum.
Sorry, I can't back you up on this one, Paul. What the fuck?
Well, it's thematic because we've had people on the podcast, we've had events on the podcast, but we've never had buildings on the podcast.
Okay.
Well, I'm so glad you
Victor
picked me.
Hugo.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is all on purpose, my good man. This is all on by design, because today,
much like many buildings are.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man,
That's
structural jokes. That is great.
That's perfect. You have the perfect audience for that.
Yeah,
one.
you have the right support system.
Okay.
Also,
no.
slam
I've
it.
known him
If you
for
slam it on the.
I put up with this shit for 7 years.
Hey, at least you don't have a podcast.
Oh my
You're just here as a guest, yeah. But yeah, so we've had all kinds of things already, and I wanted to talk about something very, very Austrian, and both of you have seen that building before. Okay. So I want to talk about the AKH scandal.
Oh.
So the AKH is the Allgemeines Krankenhaus Wien.
Thank you for clarifying that.
It's the hospital, for General Hospital.
It's the Vienna. Yeah.
Can I just say that,
Austria.
And Austria. I asked last night, what are we going to talk about? And he's like, well, I can't tell you. It's a surprise. You could have told me, and it still would have been a fucking surprise.
So this is basically the Senf clinic.
Now you get to be even more surprised.
It's the mustard clinic. It's not the Mayo clinic. It's the mustard clinic. You know.
Is that where they make the gas?
Senfabrik, yeah. So, Ben did a ton of research on this. The problem is because it's about Austrian corruption, they tried to apparently bury that thing. It was extremely hard for him to find any sources online. He had to go, not to the library, he had to go to the depot of the library and get a book out of storage to actually write this.
See, this is why we need to defund libraries.
Libraries.
Did he actually do some espionage in order
he had to
Did he scale the building?
We're doxing some people now.
We're doxing some people. You should be afraid.
This is classified information.
This is classified. You will only find it here, folks.
Are we gonna have to bail him out after this?
We are absolutely gonna have to bail him out.
Us.
We have, just for the record, we all love life and have no intention of running away or going missing or killing ourselves.
Speak for yourself.
If I rope myself, that wasn't me.
You almost roped yourself just now with the fucking. For context, he had a pair of scrubs, and
the scrubs are in the back now.
Yeah. Scrubs in the back, you can see them. He's like, oh, how do we make this visible to the audience? What if we just hang it from the ceiling?
So I'm curious, what has mustard and corruption got in common? Because I know the mustard business is a dirty game.
Okay.
Yeah. I need to know.
It's messy.
Yeah, it's definitely.
This has already been messy. We've needed to do
the seeds of corruption.
We've been needing to do some
seeds of corruption.
Some spotlight level journalism to uncover corruption
exactly.
within.
Well, it's brave of us. We're not being yellow.
You need to stop. You need to stop. No, yes, please. I'm begging you.
All right, let's
don't enable this.
Let's dive into the story.
I hate myself every time I do it.
So then don't do it.
Let's dive into the story. In 1955, the Austrian state decided to build a new hospital in Vienna's 9th district, the Allgemeines Krankenhaus der Stadt Wien, Vienna General Hospital, or AKH. What ensued would turn out to be the biggest scandal of the Second Republic. At least according to Dr. Norbert Steger, chairman of the committee investigating said scandal.
What was the biggest scandal of the First Republic?
Good fucking question.
Literally a civil war, I guess, because that
Occupation by the Americans, the Russians, and the British.
No,
the whole gang.
The whole gang.
No. First, it switched from First Republic to Austrofascism.
Okay.
Then Nazis. Then occupation.
Well, yeah, but so we're in the Second Republic now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
kind of went backwards
believe
from the Third Reich to the Second Republic. Like you're
I was not wrong.
Left turn, Clyde.
You're moonwalking your way to democracy.
Yeah. Basic. That's kind of European history in a nutshell, if you think about it.
All right.
Pedophilia and backwards walking, mostly.
Yeah, Tokyo drifting back into.
So not only was it the biggest scandal of the Second Republic, but also the most expensive hospital in the world.
Nice.
Damn.
The scandal, which involved an enormous skyrocketing of costs and a good old-fashioned bribery affair in relation to it, was uncovered by journalist Alfred Worm. The worm is in the house.
I hate all of these names. I just want to put that up. First of all, Norbert. That's not a real fucking name. I hate that.
Norbert?
Norbert is the worst name. I hate people called Norbert. If your name is Norbert, I hate you.
I mean, I'd kill myself if everyone referred to me as Hair Worm.
Yeah, like, that too. Shut up, Mr. Worm. Go play in the dirt like you're supposed to. Imagine the schoolyard bullying.
Oh, yeah. No, terrible. Yeah.
We will see if this man deserved the bullying.
Because in German, it's Wurm, so
it's literally the same.
Yeah. So okay.
So if you're a blacksmith, like you probably started becoming Smith, right? Like,
yes.
What the fuck did you do to be Worm?
Oh shit! Yeah. Fishing, maybe?
No, I don't think so.
It was a curse, a Madame Zeroni type curse.
Tim Salmon. You just, I don't know.
Tim Salmon. All right. Was uncovered by journalist Alfred Worm in 1980, who published his findings the following year under the title Der Skandal, aka Story, Analyse, Dokumente Europas größter Krankenhausbau. And in all direct quotes will be taken from this book.
So wait, it was built in 1955?
They started to decide on building in 1955.
I was about to say, it took Mr. Worm,
it took
a long fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this is a long,
this is a long-term project, as you will say.
Slow news days in the 80s. He was like, let's check out this hospital from the 50s. Something looks seedy there.
But this is all information from the stolen book from the library. Interesting.
Worm starts his book by talking about the parliamentary committee that was still preparing its report on the biggest scandal of the Second Republic at the time of publication. He quotes then President Dr. Rudolf Kirchschläger, who famously, on August 29th to 1980, spoke of the necessity of draining the swamps and sour meadows.
Uh-oh.
Where have I heard that?
Yeah, what
after.
Yeah, this is before that.
Are you trying to tell
blueprint.
me? Are you trying to tell me that Trump is secretly very well read? He's referencing 80s journalism in Austria. He's doing a stump speech in Ohio about.
He's ripping off an Austrian.
His entire career is ripping off an Austrian. We know this.
That's some 4D chess right there, man. I like that shit.
So, spoke of the necessity of draining the swamps and sour meadows in Austria's political landscape, as well as then Chancellor Dr. Bruno Kreisky, rest in peace, who spoke of a construction mafia and blowflies in relation to the scandal.
Blowflies? Construction mafia is the one that was weird to you?
Yeah. I mean, blowflies. I mean, that just sounds like regular schmegular corruption right there.
What's a blowfly?
I don't know. I think it's
put two and two together, Alan.
What do you sucking a fly's dick? Like that's
maybe the fly is sucking your dick.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah, you're not thinking.
Doesn't speak well for me, does it?
Do you want to suck a fly's dick? You hit a fly and Mr. Worm.
No, just once a fly has my whole dick in his mouth, it's like I'm not really great at that.
I'm much more interested in the 69 fly.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. And whom Worm, Dr. Bruno Kreisky, and whom Worm names as the only member of the government showing actual willingness to drain the swamps. So there's one guy who's like actually trying to do it.
I like that the swamps are what needs to be drained, and it's made up of people called Worm and blowflies and everything else.
I'm just sad there's no female hospital administrator, so I can start chanting "lock her up."
Not yet. We'll see.
He continues.
This is the 80s in Austria. We will not.
Quote. Austria is no poorhouse. It can afford a hospital, claimed new Minister of Finance Dr. Herbert Seicher recently. If the parliamentary AKH committee has taught us one thing, it's that Austria cannot afford a general hospital. This hospital bursts the morale, planning, organizational and political capacity of our country.
What, all of this over a hospital?
Yes!
We need those.
There's some dude like going into diabetic shock. Like, might not afford it, but I could use it.
Yeah, literally.
Next quote.
Glad I'm paying taxes.
Mm-hmm.
In its bloated gigantomania, which amounts to the cubature of 12,000 flats and the area of 90 football fields, between 1975 and 1979, the area increased from 455,000 to 680,000 square meters. That's around 4.9 million square feet to 7.3 million. Yeah, giant. For Austria especially.
Sounds like a regular hospital in the US.
Yeah, and the building volume exploded from 2 million to 2.8 million cubic meters. The AKH also blows all financial limits, end of quote. This continuous enlargement could be chiefly attributed to the wishes of the hospital board, apparently. What is now the 5th largest hospital in Europe, when first conceived of back in 1955, was estimated to cost 1 billion shilling. That's about 640 million euros in 2023 money, according to Eurologisch.at, a website that warns me that its conversions are based on the prices of goods and services rather than, say, wages or GDP, and that conversion numbers in general are always rough estimates at best and to be used carefully. But I'd like to live dangerously.
I mean, he does like to live dangerously. Yeah. He's committing crimes to get this stuff for us.
I mean, if the Austrian government knew he was uncovering how many cubic meters the hospital was supposed to be. So
just keep in mind, in 1955, they said it's going to cost 1 billion shilling. 1 billion shilling. You know? 640 million euros.
But if you're gonna give a fuck ton of money into something, why are you complaining that it's going to a hospital?
That's the thing.
It's not like you got a bunch of
if it was a bloated military, that would be one thing, especially given Austria's history with the military.
Fair enough. But we got something out of it. That's true.
I just don't know how they plan to, pay for it, because it's not like you have huge stockpiles of Nazi gold laying around.
Well, no, the Swiss have it, and we have their drinks.
So the project was meant to take 10 years to finish, but the actual building didn't get started until 1964, when the first construction phase saw the erection of the school building, including the boarding home, and the staff apartment blocks. The second construction phase started in 1968 and consisted of the various university clinics. The third construction phase starting in 1970 saw the building of the underground car park. By 1972, the project's cost estimate was set at 4.5 billion shilling.
Had the shilling gone down?
There was a bit of inflation, but 4.5 times the original evaluation is not a good sign.
I mean, that just means you're bad at math. Yeah. We're going to get mad at people for being bad at math. Like, I'm not going to be the first one to throw a stone.
In 1973, Vienna's new mayor, Leopold Graz.
Okay, that's also, fuck you. Leopold
Graz.
Leo.
Also, a Graz is in charge of Vienna. I don't know.
God, it's like a West Side, East Side.
Yeah, exactly.
With Graz, of all fucking places.
So, he wanted to clean up what had already become the city's biggest financial burden, and appointed a new project leader in the person of Joseph Bandion. Results were meager.
Meager.
I'm not so sure that they are meager. We are dealing with, 4.5 billion?
Yeah, an increase by 400%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the budget already exploded by 400% already.
But you set the budget in 1955. We were to 1970 right now?
1973, yeah.
20 years, come on, man.
Yeah, but still, 4 times is not even close to inflation. Inflation at best would be double.
If I asked you 20 years ago what your lunch budget was going to be, it would be 4 times more expensive now than you thought 20 years ago, right?
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
We might get there. We might get there. Yeah.
But also, again, it's all going to a hospital. There is no greater good. This is the greatest good you're ever gonna get in the Second Republic.
It's just that, delaying is not in the public interest by grifting off of it.
No, but
that's literally stealing candy from a baby.
But the baby came out in the hospital, so it's easier to take it.
Well, one of the hospitals.
They haven't developed defensive mechanisms yet.
Hey, it got built, didn't it?
All right. In 1974, the same year, the fourth, final, and biggest construction phase began, with them actually getting started on the main building. The cost estimate had increased to 8 billion shilling, and further to 18 billion shilling by 1975.
Okay, that's fucked
So
up.
we are now at 5 billion euros in today's money.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Up from 640 million.
I demand answers.
So you're upset over 5% of Twitter's valuation.
That's crazy to think about.
Oh no.
That's the problem. 5% of Twitter for a hospital.
For a hospital!
I feel like
Biggest hospital ever built in Austria.
I'm just, I'm so depressed now that you've listed that convenient fact.
That's a great data point.
Oh no.
All right, so that is by 1975, which was the year when, following the advice of Minister of Finance Hannes Androsch, der Allgemeines Krankenhaus Planungs- und Errichtungsgesellschaft, AKPE, a joint stock company owned half by the federal government, half by the state of Vienna, was founded to take over the project.
I feel like that name's so long, 90% of the costs were just stationary.
Yeah.
Oh, the printing cost is outrageous with these names.
Like that's why they shortened it to save money.
Yeah.
The AKG.
Yeah.
Like,
that does explain why there are so many acronyms in the German language for everything.
I mean, because who's got the fucking time?
Yeah, they
exactly.
don't speak a language; they just speak letters. That's what this entire podcast is going to be.
As per Worm, quote.
As per Worm.
As per Worm, yeah. Quote, for the heads of the AKPE, it was only natural to spend tax money on strip clubs, working in social security.
Here we go. Here we go.
Out of nowhere.
It's giving back to the local economy.
Exactly.
That's not a hedge fund. That's not investment. That's not money that's just going to go somewhere else. That's going straight into a single mother's pocket.
Exactly.
All
That
right?
is true.
You know how many cesarean sections that pays for? That is well done.
I can't even be
Too
mad.
bad that they can't get a cesarean section because the fucking hospital is not built yet.
You make a good point there.
That baby's going to have to slip him a razor. He's going to cut himself out.
Good luck.
A back alley C-section.
I got you, Leopold.
They went to strip clubs with the what is it still 8 billion?
With the we are right now at 18 billion
18 billion
shilling. Yeah, they went with that to strip clubs.
You know what? Again, 5% of Twitter's valuation going to strip clubs.
Not that terrible.
I'm not mad.
I just think it's some Charles Dickens shit to be a stripper and getting shillings chucked at you.
Literally.
Like you're a fucking street rat and they're making it hail.
And the 10 shilling actually had silver in it, so you're like, oh wow.
We're shilling like literal coins because that's what I'm just imagining a mystery bag of currency that you give to like a peasant when you're on a horse or something. Or was it like actual bills?
No, we had both. But so shilling was the higher denomination and groschen was the smaller denomination.
There's no sexy way to say that word.
Yeah.
Strip club. Give me some groschen. I'm disgusting.
Yeah. I'm no longer
Get off
hard.
the stage, cinnamon.
At the strip club.
Siemt.
How do you say cinnamon in German?
Siemt.
Siemt. That is not a great stripper name. Cinnamon, amazing. Siemt. That's
Hey, comment below a good German strip club name. Come up with your best guesses because we can't think of any right now.
Titbacher.
Still, I have no boner now saying that. Okay.
Baby got Titbacher.
Okay, stop. Go.
So,
I hate you.
Working in social, continuing the quote, working in social security before the AKPE, the chairman and directors already granted themselves wicked company Mercedes-Benzes with car phones and rad offices with video and stereo devices.
Wait, what year was this?
The 70s.
Car phones in the 70s?
Yeah, extremely expensive.
That had to take up the fucking passenger seat. Just looks like you're driving around with a mini fridge. He calls him, hey, what do you want? Can't tell you, battery died.
It drains the car, you have to like really pump it.
How are they supposed to get to work to build the hospital if their cars keep dying from phone use?
Little abandon.
Stage 3 of
Get that 7-disc strip, yo.
Stage 3 of the construction, as you well remember, was the car park. They're not going to have an empty car park. That looks bad.
Does the Aitz-Akaha even have a car park?
Huh?
Does it even have a parking lot?
The Akaha? Yeah, giant. It's all subterranean.
Oh, okay. That's why I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also one of the reasons why it's so fucking expensive. In 1979, the cost estimates had risen again to 21.3 billion shilling.
All right, at this point, we got to fire the estimate guy.
Though, at least according to the conversion I'm using, this was actually a bit less, adjusting for inflation, because we had the 70s higher inflation because of the oil crisis. So that helped them actually save some money.
It's not our fault, guys.
It devalued the project so much that
But it's also
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a perfect scapegoat, too.
So we're at around 5 billion euros right now. However, at the time of Worms publishing, the projected costs by 1986-1987, which was at the time when Austria's politicians claimed the hospital would open, were 36.7 billion shilling, so 8 billion euros in 2023 money. Spoiler alert.
7% Twitter. It's going up.
Spoiler alert. The hospital wasn't fully operational until 1994.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, now I no longer have any sympathy for...
Though, to be fair, it saw limited operation as early as 1991.
Oh, that's so good. Well, you like a happy ending.
Why is it called the Aitz-Akaha if it is not old at this point? There are people on this earth who are older than that. There are millennials that are older than that.
I'm older than the Akaha.
Yeah. Why is it called the Old General Hospital?
No, that's the other one.
Okay, wait.
Sorry, we're talking about the new Akaha.
Okay.
Yeah, the old Akaha is at It's in it's close to it, but
it's in the ninth.
It's also subterranean.
Yeah, exactly. It's also in the ninth.
Okay.
Yeah. They're close to each other, but they're not the same building.
Okay, but it's closer to the U6 stop though, right? Or am I confusing?
That's the new Akaha.
Okay, so we're talking about that one.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for like that one guy who sold the project to the government. He's like, all right, I got this idea for a hospital, and they're like, cool, okay, we'll pay you when we finish. He's like 96 years old. He gets a check. He's just shaking in a home.
And also,
he's in a home now.
He was the only one who didn't. Who agreed on a predefined sum, exactly. And he's getting 500 shilling.
Oh my god!
So we don't even use this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up, Grandpa. Tell us a war story.
Back in 1974, we had to fight for our rights to build this hospital at the strip club that I drove to with my car. I had
to get so much pussy. It was terrible.
You don't understand. No, literally, I'm thinking of that Always Sunny clip where it's like where Charlie's in the wheelchair at the strip club and he's like, Viet, goddamn knobs, what happened? Go get me a beer, bitch. Except it's about building the hospital. He has Vietnam flashbacks to building this hospital to the strip club.
All right. Okay. And ended up costing about 45 billion shilling, which is actually only around 6 billion euros in 2023.
Where are we at in Twitter evaluation?
It's about 5.7.
But given that the costs were obviously stretched over years, I'm not sure how much sense all this converting makes, if any. That's what Ben said. So it's hard to actually evaluate how much it really costs.
What Ben said from an undisclosed location.
Exactly. Having acquired the building dates from the Akaha's website, this seems as good as a time as any to mention that in their history section, they conveniently don't mention the scandal or indeed any cost details whatsoever.
Well, they've already proven to be bad at math. So maybe they're just not putting it on the website because they don't know what to say. I'm not sure what the scandal is. You're just talking about an expensive-ass building.
We're coming to the actual corruption stuff.
Yeah.
This is just intro.
I do like how every time you mention it, you say the largest scandal in the Second Republic. It's kind of like you're a little proud.
Yeah.
It takes some special kind of
They can't quite be on our level of scandal all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like too developed of a country to have our American problems.
Like, we funded guerrillas in South America so we could funnel crack to black neighborhoods in California.
And we did banana republics. Like, you got to get on our level, Paul.
This building was a little more expensive than we predicted.
Literally.
Like, this will bring down the country.
And again, it's for a hospital. At least it's for a hospital, and it's not for the CIA or something.
That's why I have two Americans here right now. That is very much on purpose. All right. The architect's fees rose in tandem with the general construction costs. 34 million shilling in 1962, that's 18 million euros, became 750 million. So tenfold, 10x. So the architects cleaned up.
Okay.
10x in 20 years.
I'm sorry, but why do you need an architect
17.
to build a subterranean car park? You dig a pit, you put cement in, you cover it. Like, this doesn't seem too fucking
I know,
hard.
it's hilarious. Yeah. Project management was calculated at 666 million. Weird.
666?
Yeah, 666 million shilling.
I don't know if you know this. That's the number of the devil.
No.
Yeah, in 1976, but turned into 1.8 billion shilling by 1980. Alfred Worm's foreword is worth quoting at length, both to give an overview of the extent of the scandal and because his anger at the whole affair is so palpable. Quote.
Say that word again?
Palpable. Palpable?
Palpable.
Palpable.
I like the way you say it more.
Yeah.
Palpable. Palpatinable.
You just add an extra "b" in there, make it so much better.
It's not like an auctioneer.
All right, quote, Dr. Jörg Kandutsch. Sorry, again, crazy names. Quote, Dr. Jörg Kandutsch.
How do you propose to somebody like that? Like, I'll love you forever.
Would you like to become a part of the Kandutsch family? We can Dutch, but not very well.
You've influenced her now.
Yeah. I ruined her. I know.
Shut the fuck up. Bold move, assuming I wasn't always like this. Why do you think we have a podcast together?
So, Dr. Jörg Kandutsch, director of the AKH Supervisory Office, Kontrollbüro, and former president of the Court of Auditors, Rechnungshof, described this hospital on March 6, 1981 as inhuman but necessary.
Yes.
When have I heard that in Austria's history before?
Austrian sentence.
This design is very human.
History just fucking repeats itself.
Okay, what was the word you said before?
Kontrollbüro.
Kontrollbüro.
Are you French now?
Bureau, the Bureau of Controlling Supervisory Office.
Where were they? What were they doing?
They were
on a break.
At the strip club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were hanging with their buddies. All right. In the same statement, Dr. Kandutsch also revealed that the hospital wouldn't open until at least 1990, that it would likely cost about 40 billion shilling. Reminder, it ended up costing 45 billion. Mm-hmm. So even his estimate at the tail end of the construction phase was wrong again by 5 billion shilling.
Oh my God.
And that annual operating costs would not turn out as the planned 3 billion shilling, but possibly 10 billion. So it's 3 times as expensive to run the whole thing as well.
See, I think the big problem here is they didn't just overestimate. You know, and someone's like, guess my age, and you're just like, fuck it, I don't want to play this game. I think you're 84.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm 27. Like, that's what the guy should have done. This is going to cost $80 billion.
Yeah.
And then everybody's happy that it's only 6.
This isn't a corruption story, it's a success story.
Yeah. We actually have 8 billion shillings now. We didn't have that before.
You know, like sometimes you got to like spend your budget before the end of the year or you won't get it the next year.
Yeah,
I would love to have been at the strip club December 31st.
Alan is just shaking his tits on stage.
Oh my God.
People are just fucking moneyballing.
Just embezzle the fuck out of that budget, baby.
Man, they probably actually had 5,000 shilling bills.
But
they were super rare, but man.
You said it would cost 3 times the budget of the construction to operate the hospital.
No. They estimated $3 billion to operate. It was eventually 10
per year. 3 billion per year, but then it's possibly 10 billion.
Well, here's one simple solution. get sick less.
Yeah. Fucking. We'll don't give them a social health care system that'll incentivize them to either not get sick or die quicker.
Or don't use 66% of the hospital. Then you're also down to a third of the cost.
66% of the hospital is just underground parking space at this point in time.
That's what it should
Literally a money pit.
Literally a pit of money and strippers.
Free health care, but $30 an hour to park. I'm having an operation. I'm going for 10 months of rehab. That sucks to suck, fella.
Even the doctors have to pay for parking.
Exactly.
All right, quote. The board of the AKH construction firm AKPE, directors Dr. Ernst Kraus, Dr. Peter Thomas Rugenthaler, and engineer Josef Parzer threatened their collective resignation after Kanduch's shocking revelations. Quote.
Threatened.
Yeah. Quote. Which could contribute to a solution of all pending problems. Without a board, there's no construction company. Without a construction company, there's no further construction. And without further construction, there's no inhumane hospital. And then the suggestion of Viennese business economist and university professor Dr. Erich Leutelsberger could be realized. He empathetically recommended to tear down the present construction. Start over.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
An AKH building divided against itself cannot stand.
It's not even wrong. But it's like, how fucking bad does this have to be to start over after wasting 10 billion at this point?
Oh, no, like 30 or 40 billion.
I literally can't keep track of how much they are
an insane amount.
Let's be honest, interior design had changed a lot by the 80s. You know, you got this 60s architecture.
Yeah, they had those popcorn ceilings.
You're feeling in the right direction,
I want some fucking neon lights.
You're feeling in the right direction.
I want a leopard print, like a fucking x-ray machine.
Yeah.
Mirrored tables with razors next to them.
Yeah. No.
Which would be a problem in the psychiatric ward.
Ceiling
isn't good.
mirrors.
The barbed wire toilet seats.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
The gold veins in the mirror. The doctor's like, this looks great. It is terrible for diagnosis.
I need to see what the fuck this barbed wire toilet seats.
Yeah. They use epoxy resin and they just enclose some barbed wire.
This is the first I'm hearing about.
Yeah,
I'm sorry you didn't grow up classy.
I'm sorry I didn't. I didn't grow up in the 80s. That was my problem.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry I don't know who Ronald Reagan is.
Quote, a recommendation that I, as the author of this book, have to completely agree with. Nothing is more inhumane than an inhuman hospital. No society more cruel than one that torpedoes humanity for political reasons.
Oh,
this guy didn't get out much.
Is this the first time you're learning that the Austrian government is torpedoing?
It feels like the worm is turning.
The worm is turning.
Like for a
inside
journalist,
the swamp.
For a journalist, he's pretty poorly read. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to humans
crushed. He's getting all of his ideals crushed researching this.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you this television series called Roots. Let's reevaluate your thoughts afterwards, fella.
All right, quote, not to mention the incompetence of those managers who had supervised the AKH since 1975. Representing the efficiency of those gentlemen who were trusted with billions in tax money, let me quote Dr. Walter Weitz.
No, fuck you. His name is not Walter White. Are you fucking kidding? Weitz.
It's very close. It's very close.
This feels like they changed it.
Let's build a hospital, Jesse.
We gotta build a hospital, Jesse. I'm dying of cancer, Jesse.
Yeah, diabetes, bitch.
Alcoholism. What's up?
Stage 4 lung cancer, bitch.
I am the one who knocks.
And brings you your food because it's a nice hospital.
Or it will be in 20 years.
Yeah. Walter Weitz. All right. Let me quote Dr. Walter Weitz, department head in the finance ministry, president of the AKPE supervisory committee, Aufsichtsrat, who on January 7th, 1981, attested in a court testimony. Regarding the criteria according to which the best value supplier was determined, if it wasn't the cheapest supplier, the supervisory committee generally trusted the specifications of the board members. So,
the board
wasn't me, was them. basically. He's passing the buck.
When are we just getting on to I was just following orders?
Yeah, it's literally the descendants of those who follow orders.
He's passing $8 billion bucks.
Yeah, literally. But imagine being the journalist for a second and like having all of your ideals taken away from you one by one in the most petty fucking scandal of all time. And the most just like, I'm sorry, no offense, but like there's no life or death stakes here, okay? Like this as of yet, at this point in time, there is no life or death that the journalist knows about.
Like this wouldn't make the local evening news.
Yes, literally. Local board members drove their car phone into the strip club. That they
calling you from the strip club. He has the Mercedes inside.
It's literally like it's on the stage spinning around.
Our correspondent Varta is reporting live from the scene inside of the car underneath the hospital.
And he's just like, what?
Oh, it wasn't me, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's good here.
All right.
Quote, one board member was corrupt and has been in custody since May 1980. A second one was dismissed due to incompetence. The third was dissected by the Accountability Office.
Well, there they go. They took care of the issue.
Quote,
Sure.
That is one facet with the AKH. The other one, since 1975, the responsible politicians haven't cared about where the painfully realized tax billions trickled away to. The parliamentary AKH committee could conclusively prove that Vienna's mayor Leopold Graz, finance city councillor Hans Meyer, and health city councillor Professor Dr. Alois Stacher, all of them SPÖ, so the Socialist Party of Austria.
Damn socialists.
Yeah, it's the Austrian Labour Party.
Communists.
It's them all not following our orders and blaming him on each other. This feels
is why
very
you need
Soviet.
Freedom in Jesus.
This wouldn't have happened if you just had private health care.
Maybe if you understood a little something called personal accountability.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Just get bootstrappy.
Now let's go back to our strip club.
Boot strips? Yeah.
Boot strips.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to our McDonald's parking lot. That is
a great Southern themed fucking strip club. Just bootstraps.
bootstraps. Think of the rhinestone cowboys.
Oh
Ooh, yes.
Think of
they bothered themselves just as little with this building project as did Minister of Finance and Vice Chancellor Dr. Hannes Androsch or hapless Health Minister Dr. Ingrid Leo Dolter, Jesus Christ, on the federal level.
Ooh, a lady finally.
Yes, finally.
Well done.
Feminism.
Yeah, Minister Leo Dolter was forced to resign in 1979. She had stumbled over a freely given 100 million shilling commission in hospital accounting.
I feel like she was just not cool at the strip club. That was her downfall.
Pretty much.
She couldn't throw down with the boys.
Exactly.
Pretty much. They literally they hung all like the 1 million shilling.
100 million shilling.
100 million? That's a fucking drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
It's motherfucker. She's like, oh, we can't have her around.
Like, that's a rounding error at that point.
Literally.
Oh, really? They finally get a woman on the board, and then like she's at the strip club with the boys, and like Ingrid's not cool.
Nah.
I think she's gonna tell you something.
Ingrid
guys.
won't stop asking if they're okay, and
should we give her a car phone?
It's really harsh in the vibes, you know. Oh, she stole 100 million shilling. Man, that would be awful.
This is why you don't put ladies on the boards of anything. Sorry.
So, Minister Androsch resigned on January 20th, 1981, due to politically irresponsible financing of the 12 million shilling mansion he lived in. The bigger the wealth, the thicker the dirt. A 1967 quote from Androsch himself.
Man, Androsch wasn't holding back. He was just like, fuck it, I got paid.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, this is mansion's my receptionist's office.
Oh, now we're getting into the meat.
Oh.
Androsch, one of the main culprits of the AKH debacle, was appointed deputy CEO of the Kreditanstalt Bankverein, Austria's biggest bank.
So
failing upward, boy.
Oh my God.
How do I get to this level?
You need to work on Wall Street. That's how you get to this level.
Or you're related to one of those Nepo guys.
Yeah, nepotism. I mean, Austria as a country is a village.
Or you throw down in the strip club.
But you have to be in the family to be allowed in the strip club.
I'll marry him.
Austria is a village. It is a village of there's only Nepo babies here. That's the whole
Guilty as
point.
charged. Quote, Viennese local politicians Graz, Meyer and Stacher stand in the center of the AKH disaster. Following the newest Accountability Office report, they faced destructive criticism from the media, the opposition, and their own fellow party members. Graz and co. briefly even considered resigning. They only considered it.
That's what every time you're like, I'll quit.
I don't know if I'm making quite enough billions this quarter.
I rather stay on the teat. I rather stay on the teat, please.
So I'd look for another job, but LinkedIn hasn't been invented yet, so I don't know how to do that.
No, I could always go back to the AKH, though. You know,
this place has free parking.
Yeah. It's not underground.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not 66% underground.
But Erhard Bussek's Viennese ÖVP, the Austrian People's Party, basically the Austrian Tories, during the state party conference in Vienna's Konzerthaus on March 21st, demanded new elections to unseat the paralyzed SPÖ. Thus, the decision was made. Graz declared that he was no fair weather mayor and that he wanted to forego personal consequences. In spite of a tumultuous...
Is that a thing you can do?
Did you just say that? Did you just say, I don't want to be held accountable for any of my actions?
Basically.
How can you...
That's a fucking ballsy move.
The audacity.
No, that's the caucasity.
Caucasity, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm only a fair weather mayor. Sorry, if stuff gets
Bye, guys.
If shit hits the fan, I'm out. And I was the one throwing the poop.
So the parliament's like, things are bad. And he's like, shit, good luck with that.
Literally.
That sounds rough. I hope you always sort that out.
Oh my God.
Tough to be you.
Like, you know that's your job, right? Like, no, I'm not feeling it.
No. Sorry, just don't ask me where I'm retiring, where I got all the money that I'm retiring.
It's like, well, you're going to have consequences. Like, I see your proposal and counter proposal. No.
I would like to not be held accountable.
Continuing the quote, in spite of a tumultuous city council session on March 27th, 1981, Leopold Graz made good on his threat and remained in office along with his failed team, at least until the editorial deadline of this book.
I'm threatening to remain on the board if I don't get what I want.
Which is just more grifting.
Pretty much.
Basically, I feel bad for the publisher of this book because, like, it could have come out a long time ago. And she's like, "When are you going to send the final manuscript over? Like, could you do it a week early?" He's like, "No, I need to see if Leo's going to stay in office."
It's an ongoing issue. What do you mean? It's been going on for 30 years.
Again, the author is like,
and they're like, well, listen, Worm, no one gives a shit about this. It's the 90s now.
Yeah.
Graz would, in fact, get through the whole scandal outright and stay on as mayor of Vienna until 1984, when he passed the office to fellow socialist Helmut Zilk. On a side note, back in 1975, he had been Austria's most popular politician and was named by Time magazine as one of the 150 most popular people in the world.
Why was he so popular, this guy?
His name was Silk.
His voice was smooth as silk. Baby.
Yeah.
Like, this is Andreas Silk.
It's so smooth that we just forget the fact that his name is Helmut.
Yeah, I think Helmut was one of the victims of the terrorist Franz Fuchs. I think he got one of his ends blown off.
Oh, so like old Helmut's walking around like this all the time?
Yeah, and he has a cravat. That is his signature style now, is that he binds up the hand with a cravat, the stump with a cravat.
This is not a guy you want overseeing construction.
Not a real hands-on kind of guy.
Oh, no. You know what? I still trust him more than I have trusted anyone else in this story so far to oversee this construction. He can't get his hands dirty with all of the blood money that has been poured into this.
He remained in politics until his involvement in another scandal caused him to retire in 1989.
Please tell me some lady said he fingered her.
I think they're not talking about Silk, but it would be funny too. Yeah.
Is that your defense, sir?
If the pussy doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is so much culture in one sentence. I fucking love it.
Culture.
I love it. He
loves that juicy pussy. All right. The juice is loose.
Stop! I fucking quit. I swear to God.
I'm the one who broke her.
Well done.
I'm so upset.
Quote, whereby the continuation of the Viennese losing streak is guaranteed. Conclusion of the opposition parties in the AKH committee. In this country, political liability is confused with political irresponsibility.
Are you sure that that's unwarranted? That sounds like there's a pretty fucking good reason.
That sounds something like Leo Grat speaking again.
Yeah, fair weather mayor.
The further objectified results of the AKH committee, which can be counted as the most productive committee of the Second Republic.
You guys are all, like, the Second Republic had fucking nothing going on.
Literally.
Like, you've got the best committee. Like,
Yeah.
We have the best committees.
like, you're fucking on the, like, they're on the cover of Committees
They're gonna
magazine.
drain the swamp so hard. All right. Quote, at the awarding of a 122 million contract for the company organization planning, the tendering criteria were violated. It was given at inflated prices to a corporate group whose main proponents were part of the former vice chancellor's circle of friends. No offenses could be proven against Androsch himself, however.
I feel like these guys are just so confident that they can do whatever they want.
Wasn't me. No.
I think the reason that they're so confident is because they were personally all there for one of mankind's most horrifying atrocities.
Right.
They all watched it happen in their backyard, so they're like, I can just have this money now. Like, this, what are they gonna do? They can't compare me to anything. We've already met the floor.
Yeah.
I think when you're hiring a construction company, when you're paying $122 million of your fucking dumb money, like, who are you gonna go with? Some dude you never met? Some like fucking can-do Polish immigrant, or a guy you've done lines off a stripper's asshole with.
Yeah.
Like, you're going with who you know. You know, you got to trust him a little bit. He's got your secrets, you've got his. He's going to do the job.
Also, I'm not sure they're going to be that cool with the Polish at this point. I'm not sure the Polish are going to be that cool with them either.
Is there
some bad blood?
Maybe this was like their form of reparations. Just like, we'll pay Polish people more to say, sozzles.
Well, they did actually hire a lot of like Balkan and Polish immigrants after in the beginning of the Second Republic.
For construction or strip clubs?
Porque no los dos, you know? We don't know. No one else in this room was in that room when it happened, right? You know? All right, go on,
All right.
sorry.
Quote, concerning the AKH construction, bribe payments that could be traced back to 1972 were proven. In addition to AKH managers, big Austrian and foreign electronics companies, Siemens, ITT, Schrack, Knoblich Licht, are involved in this corruption.
Siemens?
Yep, Siemens was part of this.
We will never not laugh at Siemens.
It just
the
got
company.
inside it, didn't it?
Huh?
Just got inside.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's the dirtiest that this that this tribunal has gotten their hands so far.
Hey, at least
Siemens,
we have hands.
hey.
Old fucking Androsch,
Helmut doesn't
whoever
have
They
it.
love to see some Siemens at the strip club, you know?
Yeah.
God almighty.
Except for the strippers, they don't really like that very much.
Bonus.
That's why Ingrid was mad.
Quote.
Can you stop coming on the ladies? Shut up, Ingrid.
What happened to that 100 million, Ingrid?
You know what? Ingrid deserved that for the shit she must have seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quote, the question of party financing did not lead to any clear results. That AKH money flowed directly into the coffers of any party could not be proven, but suspicions could be strengthened that firms close to the SPÖ, via complex convoluted constructs and German investments, and following the intervention of top-ranking SPÖ politicians, got their hands on AKH contracts and collected excessive fees. Nice.
It's a story as old as time.
This is how we grift. This is how we grift. All right. The ÖVP, on the other hand, got 10 million shilling, verifiably not from the AKH, from the chest of international money launderer Bella Rabelbauer.
These are just numbers now. These numbers mean nothing to me now.
Yeah,
Like $1 million.
That still, again, drops in the fucking bucket.
that's messy salary for a month. Like,
Yeah.
I also, it doesn't help that I have no frame of reference for what a normal person, an ethically living person in the 80s and 90s would have had. I'm not sure what wage they would have had.
Way less than
It wasn't $1 million.
No, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
But I need to know exactly how fucked up this is.
Well, your first tip is that they had shillings.
But that's not a real currency. That's like fictional currency.
I know they had Charles Dickens money back.
They had Charles Dickens money.
May I have some more bribery money?
That's
like a Parks and Recs. It's like, money, please.
Yeah. Daddy, please, money.
Except Helmut couldn't do that. That's why everyone liked him. He had no hands
Throw
to
it in the
reach
sleeve.
and just throw money at him like he's a stripper.
And he can't pick up the coins.
Can someone else get that?
He's like
They
down on his
accidentally
knee.
threw so much money on stage that the stripper actually died from bruises.
Make it hail.
Yeah, literally.
Now that would be a scandal right there.
Shoot the 10 million shilling cannon.
Yeah, I need there to be some death in this story.
We tipped her to death.
Yeah.
I need to see there's some. Otherwise, I'm just hearing a bunch of numbers
The FPÖ,
that changed
the
hands.
Freedom Party of Austria, founded by a bunch of ex-Nazis. On the other hand, that too was mentioned during the AKH proceedings, is on the payroll of the Industriellen Vereinigung, Federation of Austrian Industry, which isn't everyone's cup of tea either. What a surprise that the Freedom Party is in league with the Federation of Austrian Industry.
I mean, you say what you will about the Nazis, they did get shit done. Like, manufacturing was doing great.
Oh my God! Is the AKH built by Nazis?
That Schindler cranked out a bunch of stuff.
Schindler could make a pot like nobody's business.
Except it was all Jews who were making the pots. Wasn't that the whole point?
It was actually, I think,
got nimble
artillery
fingers.
shells. I think they made artillery shells.
Well, still, it was made by mostly Jewish people, was
Yeah.
it not? It's not really the Nazis.
I
is
sat
it?
through the movie, I know. I also sat through the YouTube version where somebody added a laugh track.
I need to see this immediately.
It's been taken down. It's so sad. It was so good.
Oh no!
Like, you will know how depraved you are as a person when you see Schindler's List with a laugh track, and like at first you're horrified, and then you find yourself like,
No.
Kramer, did you turn on the gas, Kramer?
What we need is Schindler's List, but with the Vine boom sound effects, or like just a
the oof.
Yeah, the oof. Just a sound effect board of Schindler's List. No, okay, but okay.
Yeah, so everybody is dipping into that pool, basically.
Yeah, so now the Nazis have dipped into it. Is there any hope that this hospital will be built now?
On December 29th, 1980, state prosecutors Dr. Herbert Hofer, Dr. Friedrich Matusek, and Dr. Werner
Wasserbauer.
Water builder.
Werner Waterbuilder.
Werner Waterbuilder.
This just sounds like a knockoff German superhero.
Or water farmer, which is even stupider.
I farm water, that's why they hired me.
It's not easy work, but it's honest work.
Yeah.
It's actually the opposite of honest work.
I go out there, I plow the water.
You got to cultivate it first. Let the land lay fallow for a few years.
It's been laying for 30 years, Werner. It's been there since the 50s.
So, in 1980, Dr. Werner Wasser, all those guys, presented a 168 pages thick indictment concerning Adolf Winter, managing board director of the AKPE. Karl Sefcik, Sefcik, Sefzsik, Sefcik.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Smith. Let's say Smith.
Yeah.
Carl Smith.
CEO of Knoblichlicht.
No.
Garlic Light.
Knoblichlicht.
Knoblichlicht.
That just sounds like knob liquor.
Knoblichlicht, yeah. And
Nope,
I'm
it even-
gonna have a little knobbly.
Yeah.
It also sounds like you're licking knobs as you say the word.
Edmund Heinisch, former CEO of ITT, fired due to the scandal. Fritz Meyer, former CEO and chairman of the supervisory board of ITT, as well as former president of the Industriellen Vereinigung, Eduard Harald Schrack, CEO of Schrack AG, and a number of these companies' employees. Further indictments against dozens of others were still in preparation when Worm finished his book. Also, just a fun aside, but according to Worm, an arrest warrant for receiving of stolen goods had been issued against Hermine Hellemann, Adolf Winter's 70-year-old aunt.
That dirty bitch.
For allegedly getting 10 million shilling from her nephew's Swiss bank account.
The nerve. It's like, I like that their biggest problem is that women are having some of this money. Like, they've been taking it for literally 20 years, but like the second,
30 at that point.
30 at this point, and they're mad because some women
dipped into the bull as well.
Dipped into the bowl?
They're
That's
like,
where
this
you
is
draw the fucking... Literally
bullshit.
Nazis took out of this candy bowl.
This is my cookie jar.
She's probably going to waste it on bags and perfumes and all that shit.
Hey, it came
as
from
opposed to something constructive, like a strip club.
Yeah. I was going to say, it was paid from a Swiss bank account. Statistically, it was probably paid for by the Nazis.
By the way, how much must have been a call in that car phone?
Oh my God.
Like how much just a call must have been? Like this is 500 shilling. Just me picking up the phone probably and doing a call.
Wait, picking up the phone cost you money? I thought it was
back in the day. Yeah, it started with the pickup.
Yeah,
I thought it was if you made the call, then
it
you
depends.
would
If you had a mobile phone back then, it was also receiving calls cost money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Because we only had like the one satellite.
Oh fuck, that's
Oh yeah, these were not. This must have been before D network. So we're talking E network, where it's like the giant ass antenna on top of the car.
No, yeah, you had the car antenna. Yeah, it had to like go. Like, you had
Yeah,
separate
it was
one
like
for the phone.
3 meters long.
You
or
couldn't
something.
drive under a bridge.
Yeah.
If you were on a call, you also couldn't make it to a bridge with that phone because.
Oh yeah.
yeah, because you would run out of
Oh, and it would also randomly just cut out.
I'm just annoyed that this old lady was stealing shit. So are you telling me they didn't even buy the car phones? They fucking stole them and the price still got out of it? Like, how did the price go up when you're stealing shit?
strippers.
Yeah, sure. Fuck, man.
Undocumentable outcome, I guess.
Quote, already in the summer of 1980, SPÖ party whip Dr. Heinz Fischer, the later president of Austria,
I mean,
I love Heinz Fischer. He was a great president.
we don't know anything about him, so we can't.
I like his condiment company.
Yes. Dr. Heinz.
Hey, this is where the mustard came in. You know, we finally found it.
Yeah, he finally mustered up the courage. All right.
Okay. Actually, do need to use the bathroom.
Can we catch up to the rest of the story?
I'm sorry.
Hey-oh!
I mean, we're nearly done. So
No, that was a catch-up pun.
Hey, sorry.
How do you miss
Sorry. I condiment your moxie.
I relish these compliments.
Damn. Already in the summer of 1980, SPÖ party whip Dr. Heinz Fischer philosophized about the therapeutic value of the AKH scandal. Future donors and recipients would have to live in constant fear of their discovery. As far as these circles even know what fear is.
I'm sorry.
So wait, your guys' issue is like, the next time we do this, I'm going to be more nervous. And I don't like that.
I was going to say, please explain how this is supposed to be therapeutic to anybody. There's not even therapy happening in this hospital. So why the fuck do you think you
Especially in the 80s.
Especially in the 80s.
No, they had therapy. It was just a guy going, stop being a pussy, faggot.
Yeah,
Like,
but they
that's
weren't
all it
even
was.
letting him do that. It's still not in operation until 94? What year is it right now?
We're in the 80s, so it's
Still-
14 years away
I'm
from
sorry,
opening.
if you don't think blowing 100 million shillings in a strip club is therapy, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, so
Not
then,
one guy left there going, you know what, I feel worse. I was like, you know what, that helped. That fucking helped.
fair enough.
It's crazy what you can do with naked ladies and unending wealth. Like, it's just fucking
All right. So, in 1981, the court identified Adolf Winter as the main culprit and sentenced him to 9 years.
I'll always pin it on the Adolf.
I mean, they kind of deserve it.
Later lowered to 8 in prison for receiving 30 million shilling in bribes.
So see, they're also bad at
30
estimating times.
million?
So 3 million euros.
What? That's like $5.
Yeah.
What? This is like Ingrid getting.
Again, because it was such a huge structure of people paying each other, they couldn't like figure out who got what money for the most part. So they just went after like the ones where they definitely could prove, like, you know, like
I see
what's
what
his
you
name with the the mafia boss that they got on tax.
Al Capone.
Yeah. This is an Al Capone moment, basically.
An Al Capone moment.
No, it's not. It's not even close.
It's not even
a little bit.
One of them needs to get syphilis for this to even come remotely close. And yet, the only people with syphilis are probably the strippers, and they don't even have a hospital to go to.
So,
like, the only person who was dismembered wasn't even dismembered in the story.
These poor
11
women.
others received sentences between 5 years and 350 days. Hannes Androsch was sentenced for false testimony in 1988 and had to step down from his leading position at the Kreditanstalt. I had to cry in all of his money.
He's maybe gonna cry because he lost his place at the credit bank. He lost his credit position. I'm sorry, you only have 4 million shillings right now.
What, did he lose like 100 billion?
It's all gone. It's all gone.
Those strippers and inflation fucked me.
Yeah. Turns out I'm bad with money.
I should not have had that job.
Yeah. In retrospect.
The therapy is knowing that he got away with it for this long.
You have to realize you're the luckiest asshole ever.
You had no business being anywhere close to this floor of the bank, and yet...
All right. I'd like to close by quoting one of the final lines in Alfred Worm's book in reference to the fact that Kreisky seemed to be the only member of government willing to actually do something against corruption. Quote, in Vienna, exponentiated ineptitude continues to dominate.
You like a dominatrix, don't you?
So this is what Ben got officially. I have, because my aunt has some connections to the people who work there.
Yeah, connection.
When it opened, like she knew people that worked at
Paul's aunt, who is in a non-disclosed location.
Yeah, exactly. Also in a non-disclosed location. But the big thing was, so I know apocryphal stories.
Okay.
We don't know for sure. I have to. We're probably gonna go.
See,
do
this
a
is what I
one.
trust. I don't trust books.
Yeah. See, so, I only trust first-hand accounts, and we will take anything you say as
first-hand
gospel.
accounts or second-hand accounts.
You were absolutely right, because this took so long. The equipment that they ordered in the 60s was out of date in the 80s.
Right, this is our iron lung wing.
Yeah, exactly. They had to rebuy everything. And in that process, they found out 2 or 3 things. One,
lobotomy sticks aren't good anymore.
I was gonna say, I was literally just thinking about that. You can't send your wife to this hospital for subordination anymore.
The beds that we ordered are too wide.
The
beds are too wide.
People got skinnier?
The door frames were too small.
After the Holocaust?
You couldn't push the hospital beds in and out of rooms.
Oh, well, I know a country
the door frames were too small. So they had to pull out all of the door frames and get wider door frames. The problem was the architect based, I think, the wideness of the hallways on the wideness of the doorways. So when now the bigger beds were there, all of a sudden, you couldn't pass in certain hallways. You couldn't pass 2 beds outside each other. You couldn't pass each other. So somebody always had to wait.
So it's like when they're doing road construction, you got that light and you're just sat there.
Exactly, yeah.
See, this is dumb. They should have just bought new beds, because I know a country who probably would have been interested in the larger beds.
But they had
they're still too small.
The Texans are like, God damn it.
These are not doing well at Dallas General.
They had architects at this time.
Yeah,
but
they were all corrupted and in strip clubs, apparently.
It's just, this seems like such easy fixes.
Yes. One other thing,
zero money.
because you know how it looks. It's a cube. 2 cubes.
Wait, you had an architect to build a square?
A cube.
2 cubes, yeah.
2 cubes.
So,
well, that's where they get the money. Because 1 square is easy, but 2, you need higher learning for that.
Yeah, it takes 40 years, actually. I don't know if you knew.
Because it's also a research facility.
What are they researching?
All kinds of things, like the hand stuff. They're really into hand stuff.
They have a little too much of an asphyxiation.
That just sounds like a fuck you to the old silk guy. Like, this will piss off Helmut.
It's a testament.
It's the Oprah of hands. You get a hand, and you get a hand.
Just like all the hands that were in the pot, am I right, Phil? All the hands that were at those strip clubs, am I right?
Like, fuck you, Helmut. We're going to work on the one thing you can't benefit from.
Helmut got fingered.
Okay.
So
anyway.
and one other thing, and that's definitely true, because it's built like cubes. The inside most of the research rooms don't get daylight. Ever.
What are they researching?
Cancer research, like all kinds of medical research.
So they have cancer patients in rooms without windows?
So it'll help you go through this.
No, it's just the doctors in the laboratories. So the thing is, when you work in one of those, you get an extra day per week off. It's called a sun day because you need to go outside.
It's called Sunday. I think we know what that is. I think we've heard of those before.
No, but it's not a Sonntag, it's a Sonnentag.
Oh.
So you get a day off extra.
Not a Sunday, it's a Sunday.
One's for the sun and one's for the Son of God.
Yeah.
This is not hard.
But it shows how incompetently this was built, that they were like,
you need to get some vitamin D.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love how they're like looking
especially
at
because it's professors and doctors, like extremely
cancer
expensive.
research,
extremely expensive, like
and also such a depressing subject.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. They just don't want people to see their secrets.
That's true.
You don't want some schmuck walking around outside looking in, being like, "Oh, that's how they do it."
It sounds like it's built literally like a brutalist Soviet building.
Yeah, it is.
I feel bad for like the dude with like stage 4 cancer who's like going into the other cube, and like the architects are like, you know what'll help these guys get through this really traumatic moment in their lives? Pitch darkness.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
So yeah, it is a nightmare building. It was always a nightmare building.
But the car park, fuck yeah.
They're refurbishing that right now, actually.
It wasn't good enough.
What's the estimate?
Oh, it's
like 40% of Twitter's evaluation. Inflation's a bitch.
So yeah, that is also a funny thing. That is true. That even this is, I think, still to this day the third most expensive building in Europe. I think.
But it's 2. So that's like that's value for money.
But also, what are the first 2 buildings?
Like dams and power plants, and like nuclear power plants and stuff. Like
okay, so like things that also matter, like in the
A
society.
dam doesn't matter. Just move. Like a dam is human fucking arrogance. We're just looking at rivers, going, absolutely not. Like there's no.
We're gonna steal that water. We need to have it.
Like, who looks at a fucking lake and goes, I bet if I get rid of all this water, it'll be really nice. Like, it's just dumb.
Fair.
Damn, son.
No.
Stop.
No. Look at that river.
Anyway, what else about this fucking cube hospital?
0 deaths so far.
Yes, we're deathless.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, there's still a lot of pain and suffering.
The problem is too, like, certain operations couldn't be done in the old AKA, so they had to, like, if you had
other hospital,
you needed a circular room.
You had to go like to Lower Austria or something like that. Yeah, you were like shifted around because they couldn't finish the fucking main hospital.
Imagine you have to drive an hour outside of the city.
At least
an hour to do a heart operation or something.
No, in certain things like really important stuff, you would be sent to Munich. Yeah, because it's Cold War, you can't go to Budapest, you know?
Yeah. I'm amazed at, like, the guys who are skimming off this shit for, like, 30 years.
8
hours. 2 weeks after it was built, didn't bomb the fucking thing. Like, just hire some angry Balkan guy to fucking blow it up. I guess we got to rebuild, fellas.
I don't even think you'd have to hire him. I think you just have to be like, don't you hate it? We have this much money, and you don't have it. Are you mad?
They're like, oh, no, it got...
GTA San Andreas meme. Oh, shit, here we go again.
It's like, oh no, they bombed the thing. I guess that's 34 years of us at Silky Squirters again.
Imagine GTA, but it's a communist. It's like Second Republic Austria. Imagine GTA with the car phones in the 70s.
Oh, dude, that would be amazing. Because the thing was,
like your shirt.
GTA 5 or initially was planned to be set either in Prague or Vienna. That was the initial.
Why Vienna specifically? Or
because they wanted to do like the Cold War stuff, like
also because 90% of the buildings look the same, so it's just very easy to render.
Yeah,
I feel like you'd have a much easier time with like any other Balkan country, anywhere within this former Soviet Union.
It's actually really hard to graphically design rubble.
But what about concrete?
the graphic fidelity on that rubble is really lackluster.
Plus, you don't want some fucking kid from Pristina like driving around in the next GTA going, "This city looks nicer than the one I actually live in."
And as somebody who was in the AKH previously.
Sorry, back on it. Also, there's no cars you want to steal there.
The 70s car phones you don't want to steal.
Imagine fucking like getting in the car and a cop is outrunning you.
He's knocking on your window.
He's on a scooter, like a not an electric scooter, just like a
push scooter.
Push scooter.
GTA is so much worse when you got to like try 20 cars to find one that works. Meanwhile, 20 Orthodox grandmothers are just shaking their head at you.
You disappear from the police amongst that crowd of Orthodox grandmothers.
It's like you shoot up at the bank and the cops. It's not even a 1-star level. Like,
you said shoot up at the bank. It could honestly be either or. Seeing as it could be shoot up or shoot up. You know?
I love some horse at the bank. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So this was the AKH scandal.
This was the AKH story.
For you, it's a story.
This is a story about a building.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting a little bit more pizzazz. It just sounded like a bunch of people were just taking money.
Like, hold on. I'm gonna Google Mississippi scandal, and I'm gonna see what we got recently.
Okay, fair enough.
Google Tennessee scandal within just this year.
Mississippi welfare fund scandal in February. Oh yeah. We fucking paid. We paid a football player, Brett
that
Favre.
was in Mississippi?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Our governor gave Brett Favre $5 million of welfare money to give some speeches and shit. And he's like, I don't want to give speeches. And you're like, that's fine.
And then he built like
money?
A basketball court or something like that with that money.
Yeah.
Wait, why was he getting welfare money specifically to give speeches?
Well, because who are you going to give it to? Poor people or Brett Favre?
I think the idea was that he's like gonna motivate the poor or something like that.
Yeah. If you're just born with a god insane amounts of athletic talent, you too could also be rich.
Yeah, like some Dom Beverage kind of shit.
Oh my God!
Clean it up.
I like that in America we need Dom Beverage motivational speakers, but in Austria they just send you to a strip club. You know?
That is the real motivational speech.
Yeah, they don't need to say anything. It is how much 40 billion shilling more expensive.
Yeah,
but
I do think there's a moral.
Again, it went over budget 48x.
But I think there is a moral here, because I think the next time there's some like public works is going on and people are building it, like it's a lesson to the people who want to skim off the honest tax worker, like that.
This is the playbook. This is the playbook on how to skim properly.
That's why it's so hard to find.
You gotta be, let it be known that the Austrian government will not let you go on for more than 30 years.
Yeah. That's
without arresting 2 people that you might know who are somewhat related to a project.
Statistically, not you.
Who went to prison for a shockingly short amount of time and came out with the money probably squirreled away somewhere.
So they didn't even have to give it back?
I mean, probably they were supposed to give most of it back, but
but they didn't have to?
Look, if you're not an idiot, you had some of that money in a Swiss bank account. Or car phones.
Do I got to give the car phone back?
Or you give your aunt a cool line of credit of 10 million shilling,
and make sure that Ingrid bitch doesn't hear about it because she's mouthy.
So this is the playbook on how to do corruption correctly.
All right, so when do we start?
So this has been the episode. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Alan, pitch your stuff. You can talk to the people.
I have no stuff. Don't follow me.
Don't talk to me. Don't ever contact me.
Never. Only hear about me in passing conversations.
Stream snipe him on Destiny 2.
His address is 321 Slovakia Drive. Yeah. You can find him at your local strip club.
At Kurva Plaza. At Kurva Plaza.
In the toilet making snorting noises. For several reasons.
Yeah.
No, you find me on Instagram, but it's not Alan. That's the only thing I use because I'm old and I hate social media.
It's in the description.
I'm in Vienna doing shows all the time. I'll be working with Paul on the dating show coming up. That's going to be fun. And that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Aislinn, your links are, as always, also in the description below, just as mine. If you enjoyed this episode or the podcast in general, please consider giving us some money on Patreon. Also, you can share, favorite everything that we make.
Rate 5 stars.
Yeah, rate 5 GTA stars.
5 GTA stars.
and swat us.
Yeah, swat us. Show us your love in the form of illegal action. We will guarantee all of the money you give us on Patreon will end up in the Cayman Islands at the end. Will end up in Switzerland.
And
or
if you're like,
in my aunt's bank account.
If you're like part of the people who did this and you're like halfway through this episode, if you send 100 million shillings, we'll stop it.
Yeah.
We will take it down. We have no integrity.
Just give us like a fraction of Twitter's evaluation right now.
I'll totally make this episode disappear.
I'm looking at you, Ingrid. Reparations.
Is Ingrid still alive? Are any of these strippers still alive?
And if you're a stripper, please reach out.
Yeah, have an interview with one of the strippers. That would be cool.
Please, if you're a stripper and you were given money by any of these motherfuckers, please contact us immediately.
If Adolf gave you slipped you some bucks.
If Werner Water Farmer gave you any money.
Oh, I can't wait to hear from Dusty Flaps.
Dusty Flaps.
Don't listen. He won't be.
That's a perfect ending. We're ending at Dusty Flaps.
I want to actually have her come on the show.
What do you mean?
And